Hey everyone, it's Andrew. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a video doing an unboxing and about, I think it's like a 5-month review of the J-Life Buckwheat Pillows, which are these pillows right here. I currently have 2 sets of these pillows. We're going to go into a long-winded version of this video just because I do want to make it comprehensive and discuss my general kind of background and research as far as approaching floor sleeping and transitioning to a Japanese Shikibuton or Japanese futon. I recently moved and for about 2 years prior to moving, I was really tempted of switching over to a Shikibuton and Kakebuton and a Tatami Mats setup. However, in my prior apartment, I had a traditional like IKEA queen bed frame and mattress. And so about a year ago, I switched over to getting like just a firm mattress at that point, just because it was like 300 bucks, and I purchased it from Amazon. And it was okay, but I really wanted this setup, so I'm really excited about it because I've done a lot of research. I've done a lot of background research and discussion through Reddit threads where people on the minimalism thread and the floor sleeping thread have discussed this extensively. And so I already recorded part of the process as far as the Tatami Mats. I'm gonna overlap with some of the content there just in case you haven't seen that video. But the main highlight or focus of this video is really these pillows and the J-Life pillows specifically. Because there is some kind of confusion around J-Life and the different options and things like that. Long story short, basically the Tatami Mats I got from Tokyo Tatami Maker. They arrived yesterday and I absolutely love them. I moved to my new apartment, didn't have anything on the floor, so I was sleeping on a yoga mat and a blanket for a couple days. And it was hard, but it was doable. However, with the Tatami Mats, it's firm, it's sturdy, it provides a little buffer and support, and there's a nice texture and feel to it. You feel like a luxury aspect of it. Additionally, with the Tatami Mats, they're fully mobile. So this whole size is 30 centimeters by 80 centimeters, so it's a queen size. A layout, they sent me 2 entire custom-made slabs, and they arrived in a shipping box as far as that. The rationale for why I went with Tatami Mats from the very beginning is if you look on Amazon, different websites and things like that, there's a lot of foldable mats or ones that you can put away, which are convenient for storage purposes, but the material is much thinner. It's not the classic tatami. And I felt like with this setup, with the 2 sheets, it's probably even as convenient as far as getting it up and outright. So for instance, I set up my dresser the other day. I just basically took these, folded them up against the wall, laid them right against the wall, did all the stuff, swept up, and then put it back down. So my room has a ton of space from that standpoint, so it's very mobile. Additionally, I bought like a Robo-Rock vacuum, and that can, if I move these to the side, it can vacuum and clean directly underneath here as well while I'm at work or not around. So that's the benefit of the tatami. These are the Tokyo Tatami's Jinja brown. It's a checkered brown pattern. I absolutely love it, have no regrets, and that was a phenomenal experience. They cost $950 total. Shipping went through DHL, it arrived without any hiccups or issues, which is great. So now we'll get to the futon bed. We'll talk real quick just because I will do a separate video when it arrives. It has not arrived yet, and I'll discuss that process. But I went with FutonBedsFromJapan. So they're a company that's family owned in Japan. They make Shikibuton's classic way with full organic cotton, no synthetic materials. And if you watch their videos and stuff, they do a phenomenal job as far as making it. And so I ordered their queen size as well as in their koi pattern. We'll see it when it gets here. And then I also did their Kakebuton, that's queen size, and then 2 separate covers for each. You could go with 1 cover, but I decided to go with 2. The reason being that it's all the way from Japan. So if something were to get stained, gross, whatever, discolored from washing it, whatever it might be, I wanted to have 2 sets available so that I don't have to go through ordering them again and getting it shipped all the way from Japan. As far as the entire order, it was about $1,400. They shipped it through UPS. The issue I ran into with UPS though is the fact that UPS was planning on shipping it June 21st to my new apartment. However, I was not going to arrive there till the 26th. And so I put a delivery change to push it back to the 26th. And somehow with UPS, it got stuck where it wasn't being delivered. So I spent like 4 separate days calling. Their associates really couldn't help. And then I spent like 2 hours where they actually initiated like a lost claim. And that actually triggered them to finally find it in the warehouse. And it should be delivered later today. And so hopefully it gets delivered, and I'll do a video on that. But Futon Beds from Japan otherwise was a great experience. We'll see what it looks like when it arrives. The reason why I ended up with Futon Beds from Japan as compared to J-Life, where I actually ordered these pillows, was it was authentic Japanese. They had free shipping and they shipped it directly. There was a separate company. I wrote it down and I screwed up, but it's like Taokio. It's Takaokaya or something like that. Sorry if I mispronounce it. But they're Japanese based too. They make very good classic Shikibutons as well. If you go through them, their price is a little bit lower than Futon Beds from Japan, and their color palette is more in line with what I like, which is like natural colors, not as much pop. However, they don't cover shipping. And so when I went through the process there and attempted to order it, it was like $500 to $600 in shipping, or $400 or $500 to get it to where I needed. And so I just felt like it didn't make sense when you added up all the costs. It was about equivalent, and then really half of it's shipping that you're spending, which just in my mind didn't work. Other options for futon beds, you can go with Matsu. I think they're in California. They make good ones, cotton and wool based. They have different options as far as the number of layers for thickness. But very similarly, when you go through them, you can customize all the things as far as the cover and stuff, which is great. However, their shipping too, when I looked into shipping it, like based on the order, was $1,000, and that's just based in the US. So those 3 were the like front runners as far as what I wanted in the end. And I ultimately went with Futon Beds from Japan based on Reddit reviews and people promoting it from that standpoint and their experience. The interaction with the company, they were great as far as feedback and receptiveness. And actually I reached out telling them about the UPS system and my experience with DHL. And they said that Haas or Arigato there said that they used to deal with DHL, but because they're in such a remote area as far as where the factory is and construction or making it, they have to deal with a third party to get it for shipping. And so the cost for them is cost prohibitive as far as using DHL. So that's why they use UPS. And they said that based on their experience, 99.6% of customers don't have issues. But for me personally, I had a huge hiccup with UPS, and that's separate from the shipper, obviously. But my problem was that I was moving, I had to time it at the right location, I adjusted that, and I live in an apartment complex that's absolutely brand new, so they don't have like the resources for it. So it got some hiccup, but it seems like it's gonna arrive. So no fault to the company from that standpoint. The other thing that we want to discuss is, so J-Life, I'll talk about J-Life in a second because we're gonna talk about the pillows. The other options as far as Shikibutons is you can go through Amazon. They have relatively cheap ones for about $100 to $300 where it's more of a synthetic material. So the options there I think are Fuli, Julie, Juli, I think, and Emor. There are plenty of options. They are probably a good one to start off with. However, it's a synthetic material, so it's not true cotton. It's not true like construction from that. But the synthetic material, the benefit of that is it's less likely to grow mold or get moldy from moisture because it's not like true cotton. So the futon bed that I ordered, the Shikibuton with the pure cotton, you have to make sure that you air it out, prevent it from capturing like moisture and things like that. So there's a specific level of care. Plus, with it being so expensive, if you're in the situation where you have financial concern, you don't want to end up with buying something that ultimately gets gross and you have to throw out. So I think that the Amazon options are a good option to start with. I almost did order one in preparation for moving. However, with the delivery date scheduled and I knew that it was already in the US, I anticipated that it was going to be like arrive on the 26th. So I thought, hey, why not just let it be? And then it didn't happen. So I was going to order, I think, the Fuli one in the queen size just to have as an extra one and something to use under the mattress in case it was too thin and I felt like I needed more cushion. However, I actually didn't order it until after I had all these hiccups with UPS. So that is ordered and will arrive. I have to decide whether I'm going to return it or keep it based on the initial experience with the futon bed from Japan. So those are the Amazon options. The other options are Futon Shop makes one, but that seems like it's more of like a US based futon mattress, more of a firm material traditional futon that you see on a couch or something like that. My parents had one growing up and it was extremely dense and uncomfortable and I wouldn't like it. The cotton ones are a little bit more cushiony. And then we'll get to J-Life. So J-Life is what I initially thought I was going to go with. However, if you look at J-Life's website and the kind of background on it, it seems like it's more of like a US like product that's tailored towards looking like Japanese. So for instance, their mattresses are gold bond mattresses. Thanks to somebody on Reddit, they mentioned that. And I looked into it more and it's really just a US based mattress that they're kind of marketing as Japanese. And so even though it's expensive and tailored that way, it doesn't seem like the best option. It's just expensive and they have a great color option as far as covers and stuff. However, it just didn't, like when I looked at the Reddit threads, I shied away from it based on the fact that they're gold bond mattresses. Now, as far as the pillows, I decided on getting the pillows because I wanted buckwheat pillows. I've used buckwheat as meditation cushions, so these are my new meditation cushions, but I'm very familiar with buckwheat with my Lotus Craft meditation cushions, which are completely buckwheat. And so buckwheat, which is this, I have a bag of it, is a material that's very, very, it's like kind of like rice where it's very mobile, so it's very flexible and it conforms to your body very easily. Additionally, it's a dense material, so it packs very easily. So the benefit of a buckwheat pillow is it provides a lot more support and it complies to your head much easier. And so I was using a firm pillow prior to transitioning to this. And the reason why I bought it earlier prior to the move, even though it might take up space in my car, which is a 2023 Toyota GR86, is that J-Life, which sells these as an option, sells both neck pillows as well as these larger pillows. The larger pillows, I wrote it down, is the dimensions are 13 by 18, and then the neck pillows are sized, 3.5 by 15. And so how it's set up is basically you can put your head on this part and then rest this underneath your neck. And I absolutely love these things. These are so comfortable. I transitioned about 5 months ago because I think it was like Mother's Day or something. They had a sale where a couple of these pillows were 50% off. And so I purchased the one that it's called ASNO or NU Ha Gold. And it's this gold color which has this star pattern on it, okay? And so I ended up getting this for 50% off. Usually it's $61 per pillow. The pillow basically comes with a sleeve pillowcase where part of it's exposed on the end. You can either buy this in the same color of the cover for the actual buckwheat, or you can buy it in white. I ended up going with white just because when I wash things, I tend to bleach it or wash it, and I'd rather a clean kind of like pillowcase than some other pillowcase that might hide kind of grossness. And I don't know, it's just something I do. Like my undershirts are white, my pillowcases are white, and I just bleach it and it ensures that everything's clean. It's the thing that I have. Either way, so this one is the larger one. It provides a lot of support. It has buckwheat husks on the inside. These sleeves that I actually have on these are, my mom actually made them. And so what I found was it comes with, these are the original sleeves. These sleeves which basically slide across the pillow and you have to put them on and off, and then each of them are basically like a sleeve that goes across it. The ones that they actually sent are more of like a cottony material, and if you look side by side with the ones my mom made, they're already discolored after a period of time of using it as far as like discoloration, and that's just routine washing. It's not gross or anything like that. I haven't done anything special with it. However, the ones she made, which is these, basically what I did was I gave her the dimensions of this told her like to put a cuff on each side, and then she simply sewed it using typical pillow material. And so this pillow material like seems to hold up a little bit better than the original. It is much more resistant to staining and things like that. And so I've had a really good luck with that. Additionally, if you want to purchase pillow covers through J-Life, they have these pillow covers both as the pillow cover itself plus the sleeve in either the cover or the white cover color pattern. However, I think it's like $70 or something. So if I wanted to get a new set for both the neck pillow, the head pillow, and 2 total pillow sets, or 4 sets total, I think it came out to $160. And so it just doesn't make sense to spend that much money if my mom can make it or sew it, because really it's just a piece of fabric that's cut and shaped in that way. And so if you do get these pillows, I'd say try to find somebody that can sew it, or even just go to a local tailor and tell them the dimensions. They could probably make it for you for much cheaper. So just consider that in mind when you're doing this. So that's kind of general discussion of the pillowcases, the issues I've had with the pillowcases. As far as the pillows themselves, I'll show you this one. So this is the pillow. Basically, it has a set of like a pillowcase itself, says J-Life on it. It's very, very comfortable. How it works is if you just lay here, you can lay directly on it, and with the buckwheat it supports your head. And the nice part about this is that previously I had like cotton pillows. What I would find is I tend to sleep on my back and then transition to my side overnight. And in the process, I would like toss and turn and throw my pillow on the ground. The density of the buckwheat keeps it in place so that like it doesn't move, and I have much more restful sleep with that. Additionally, because it's buckwheat, it conforms to your head more, so it kind of like supports it. So a lot of people, when I talked about this, were like, isn't that uncomfortable or whatever? But if you try it out, it's much more comfortable than you think, even though it's firm, because it conforms to your head and like supports you naturally in like your normal anatomic position. So one option is just using the pillow like this. You don't have to buy the neck pillow, but the neck pillow itself is very similar construction. I'll take off the sleeve here. The sleeves to get on and off are a pain, but what I tend to do is as long as they don't look like kind of gross, like for instance, I had to watch my parents' dogs and one of them was in the bed and there was fur all over. I wash them once a week, so I take it off and wash it and just do like normal white care, and it seems to be working. But these are the ones my mom made versus wherever the other ones are. These are the ones that were provided, so they're a little bit smaller, less of a soft material. However, so this is what the neck pillow looks like. So the neck pillow itself has drawstrings on either end that tie, okay? Says J-Life and has the label on the one side, and basically it's filled with buckwheat. And on one side there's a zipper. I didn't show you the buckwheat, but basically it's a zipper filled with buckwheat. And you can customize this where if you want to, you can remove buckwheat and make it more or less dense depending on what you want to do. Very similarly, you can do the exact same thing with this one, which has this small slot here to fill it in. And you can see the buckwheat husks directly in it. So, sorry, I spilled them, but it's whatever. So either way, the neck pillow, you can basically tie it tighter or looser depending on what you want, which is nice because it's customizable. And so depending on your, like how you're sleeping or what you want or prefer, or like just your body like setup, you can either tie it very tight where it's much more dense like that, or you can loosen it up. Like I have it a little bit looser so it's more mobile. Like this. And then it's looser and more pliable. And so what I do is when I sleep with this is basically I put this part underneath my neck here, okay? And then slide it down, get it underneath there, and then I push the buckwheat husks or like the head pillow right there. So it's really nice because it basically provides a cervical support all the way around your shoulders. It's not like a synthetic one, like or a traditional foam one, where it kind of bolsters you up. This just conforms to what you need. And I find that I'm super comfortable with this where it's just like a pillow. And so the combination of both the Shikibuton, which is gonna have cushion, plus this, plus the Tatami Mats, I feel like is gonna be a great option for providing much better back or lumbar support, because you're basically in line with like your natural spine position. A lot of people say that by transition to floor sleeping, they get a lot better back comfort if you have back problems. And that's really because of that alignment thing. The traditional Western mattresses fall like down or like raise or lower a lot as a result of like just how they're made. So a lot of people get discomfort from that. And even over the past 3 days with me sleeping on both the yoga mat and tatami mat, as compared to a very, very firm mattress, I've noticed that my pelvic alignment's a little bit better and my back pain that I typically have in my low back is better. And so I'm really excited about getting the bedding and kind of the whole setup as a whole. All right, so I know I'm kind of going all over the place with this, but all right, so we talked about the pillows, the construction. So main drawbacks of these pillows in my experience that I've had so far is, one, if you want to wash the pillowcase, not the sleeves, you have to take out all the buckwheat husks in order to do that. So they instruct kind of doing that once a month. I've only done it once in 4 months. You can say I'm gross or anything like that, but it's a pain, okay? The reason being is that whichever side the zipper is on, you've got this small hole and there's a ton of buckwheat husks in here. And so these buckwheat husks are a total of 5 pounds. The reason why I bought these recently is because I got these Mindful Modern meditation cushions to replace my other ones because I couldn't bring them to my new apartment because they couldn't fit in my car. But this meditation cushion doesn't have as much buckwheat and is not as firm as compared to my other meditation cushions. So I bought this to fill this up. This pillow, the cervical pillow, has 3.8 pounds in it, and this one has 1.2 pounds, which adds up to 5 pounds, which is the equivalent of this, okay? And so for $25, you can get as much buckwheat, okay? So really, my suggestion, at least from this experience, is these are $61 a pop or $112. What I would recommend doing, if you want to go this route, is find a pillowcase the right size, put some buckwheat in it, and you'll probably spend about $50, okay? And you won't have issues that I'm going to discuss. But either way, that's my solution. If I went full circle around, my solution would be buy the buckwheat, find a pillowcase that has a zipper built into it, put it in there, and then find another pillowcase to go around that so that you have a casing that has the buckwheat and you have another case around it that you can wash. And then with that, it's probably cheaper in general than replacing this entirely, and you can routinely just replicate it. So with this buckwheat, I can do more pillows, I can fill it out for other pillows, I can fill out my meditation cushion, so I'm gonna really use this for this. But you can readily do this with $25 worth of buckwheat. There is massive discoloration on this specific pillow cover color combination. I noticed it within about 2 weeks of having these, and J-Life has a 25% restocking fee if you want to return an item. But basically, I don't think it's because I'm dirty or gross. I think it's just that with the sleeve and everything, anywhere that you are exposing this pillowcase, specifically the gold one, to it, it's getting discolored and becoming green, which is really, really gross and disgusting, and I don't like it. So I considered actually buying replacement pillowcases through them, but as I discussed, those are $160 for a set of 4, and it just doesn't make sense financially to do that, so I always find a cheaper option. Very similarly, the exact same thing happened for the other pillow. So one of these I've used more, but like on the edge here, there's some discoloration, and this one, especially, if you see, it's that. And I don't think it's a moisture thing. I think it's more of just like a friction thing from exposure, or it's just like a little bit of moisture changes the color. But I'm not happy with that, and that's why I found a different option. All right, so that's the drawback to it. That's why I would suggest getting buckwheat and finding a cheaper solution because it's more cheap. And additionally, when this was shipped, as I suggested about J-Life and kind of looking at the website and stuff, or like how they ship the mattresses or stuff, This got shipped from like some other company that was US based, that was like pillowsomething.com. I don't remember what it was. So I was surprised when it billed me or shipped from like not J-Life exactly. So as far as my solution, I thought about a couple things for these pillowcases as far as cheaper options. One was getting traditional pillowcases and putting them on here, like from Walmart or something like that. The issue with that is that one, you'll have, they might fit a little bit, but you'll have a ton of fabric and it's going to be all over the place. It won't be aesthetically pleasing and it just isn't really a good option. It's cheap, but it works, but it doesn't work. The other option was I actually went on Amazon and looked for the specific pillow dimensions for this and found actually pillowcases that cover both of these pillows. So we're gonna open up these as part of this video too. So first off, one is Zeni premium pillowcases. I wrote all the information down, so bear with me. When I write things down, we know we're gonna get detailed. But Zeni pillowcases, they offer 14 by 20 size pillowcases. This is a pack of 2, 400 thread count. Each pack, I bought 2 separate packs, is $15 each. And so it gives me an extra pillowcase to throw over this, but we'll open these up now and see the sizing. And oh wow, that's soft. Oh my gosh. Wow. That is, oh my gosh, that's nice. I'm so excited. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It's so soft, like it's 400 thread count and it's so much softer than both of these. Wow, I'm so excited. I can't wait to get this on. Okay, but either way, it's a traditional pillowcase just sized for 14 by 20. So it should fit this. And if it doesn't fit or it struggles fitting, hopefully it'll be less struggle than the sleeves, because the sleeves are a pain to get on and off. Yeah, this is way better. There you go, it's on already. Oh my gosh, this is the solution. All right, either way, so pillowcase, there you go. That's your solution to, if you have these pillows, need pillowcases. These were $15 for a pack of 2. So I can basically take this one off, get rid of it. Sorry, Mom, I know you made these, but it's not as easy as this. So you never have to make them again because I found a solution that is readily on Amazon. But throw these on as well. And they're so soft. Oh my gosh, Zeni, you're a lifesaver. I'm gonna reach out to you and say thank you and promote that product for anybody with J-Life pillows because it's great. But there you go, pillowcase covered, okay? So that's, you have the casing inside, right? And then basically you have a pillowcase to cover it. So as I discussed for buckwheat pillows, basically if you found an inner liner or container, that is a pillowcase, whatever size, 14 by 20. If you have a zipper in it, you can fill it with the buckwheat husks, put this cover on it, and you'll probably be at like 60 bucks or so, maybe give or take. All right, so that was the head pillows. Now we have pillowcases, they're super soft. I'm very excited about this. And then next up we have pillowcases for the neck pillows. And so this is a good example of the discoloration. This is the one I've been using. It's all green. There's literally a line for where it's exposed, all right? And so I've got another set of those pillowcases, but this sorry, my camera stops when I talk too long, so clearly it's a sign that I'm talking too long. Okay, so these are Saffron Handicraft bolster pillow covers. They're 6 by 16 dimensions, which is about the size of this pillowcase. I bought a total of 4 in their white color. They have got several color options. Each one of these are $16.43 each. However, they're a little bit more expensive. However, if you look at it, it's a pillowcase where basically it has an opening on the end, opening on the other end, and it actually has ties that can tie it down. And so they do have a couple inserts in here, and I always want to highlight those because the company goes out of their way to do that. And so this insert says, thank you so much for your purchase. We take great pride in our products. So if you come across any problems, please contact us and we will fix it ASAP. As a small business, reviews are critical for us to compete with bigger companies, increase visibility and trust on Amazon, and reach more wonderful people like you. If you have, if you're happy with your product, you can leave us a review at Amazon or RYP. And then on the other insert, they said, thank you for the purpose. We hope your experience is awesome. They've got a QR code, and then they show that they give you actually a 10% discount code. So the benefit of the 10% discount code is I can buy more pillowcases when I need them down the road. So if this works out, it'll work out. But here's the pillowcases, so very similar, and then has drawstrings on each side with a little bit of a tassel on them. And so my hope is that this will fit directly in here, all right? So it definitely fits. There is excess material, so there's probably about 3 or 4 inches of excess material, but we also have not tightened this down. So I'm gonna get the tassels for the neck pillow in here, and then we're going to just tighten this down all the way. And I think I just ripped it, but it's okay. I don't care. And then we'll tighten the other one. So I'll just pull it. Yeah, that's easier. So don't do what I just did. But there you go. And so that's what it looks like. So it does have excess material. It's a little bit too big for this. However, it does cover it entirely, and it's much better than a traditional pillowcase. So I say that this is a good solution here. So you can definitely do this, and it would fit. And as you can see here, it stacks right on there, and it's very aesthetic pleasing. It's like white on white, it fits, and there's a little bit of give in it, but like that excess material isn't too much. So that's that one, but that's kind of the gist of this video. I know it was long, but it was comprehensive. I hope it's helpful for those of you that are interested in Tatami Mats, giving you the rationale why I went with this, the pleasant experience I've had with that, the kind of issues and experience with J-Life. As far as the neck pillows and the pillows in general, I absolutely love them. They're amazing, they're comfortable. It's just the pillowcase has the discoloration, and the cost of getting a replacement pillowcase is very expensive. So this is a much cheaper option. So if this is $16, and another 2 or whatever, 15. So you're looking at 32 plus 15. So that's $47 for a full set, as compared to, I think it's like $60. It was $160 for 4. So whatever the math is, but basically I replaced it entirely. Plus I also have more pillowcases, and it's readily available. But that's all I have for this video. I hope that the Japanese futon will come today, and I'll try to do another video on that for sure. It'll kind of overlap with this, but this was really, I think, comprehensive on the topic. If you have questions, comments, anything like that, post them below. I'd be happy to answer them. And additionally, I believe that the company for Futon Beds for Japan is giving me a discount code. So if you want to purchase through them, you can definitely reach out through that as well. But happy to answer any questions, and thanks for everybody on the minimalism and the floor sleeping Reddit thread. You guys were a lifesaver as far as deciding what to buy and what not to buy, because this is pretty expensive. The tatami mats are $950 alone, and the whole setup as far as the futon bed is like $1,400. So you're looking at almost $2,000 for this. So it's something that, with a lot of money invested, you want to make the right choice and not have regrets, especially when you're spending a lot of money like that. But that's all I have for this video. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.